welcome to the Women Racing to Win. Joe Samriego, and we got Daniel from Magello. We got a lot of races to talk about today. Daniel, I know, pretty excited to see you're at Magello, and I see we have a comment of Friday's show. Yes, Amber, we're on the air on a Friday, live from the track at Magello. Daniel, can you tell us what's going on today and this weekend at Magello?
Good morning, Joe, and good morning to all our US-based fans and followers. As you said, I'm up in Mugello following Italian Formula 4 and Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine this weekend. Also, Italian GT is on track with two very competitive female drivers, one in GT3 Pro-Am, Kerry Schreiner, who is, of course, a very competitive German driver. And as you can see, we definitely encourage everyone to follow the drivers on their social media pages, as you see on the screen. And also another very competitive female driver who is Francesca Linossi. She's currently leading the standings in the GT Cup class. This is the final round of the Italian GT Championship in the sprint series. Four rounds in, and this is the final round, and Francesca is currently leading the standings. So, but still there are like 6 drivers in the 1 point, so it's going to be really tight to seal the title. But she definitely can do the job. Also with Italian Formula 4, there's also Hamida Al-Kubaisi and Maya Veug. And also in Formula Regional, which is currently underway, the second free practice session, we have Lena Buller in the Formula 3 Tatus car.
Very exciting weekend, especially we'll be recapping their races next week on the show. And speaking about very close, we have to talk about the Alpine Europa Cup last race weekend and how one driver is getting so close to a victory.
Yeah, definitely. Last weekend I was in Paul Ricard for the Alpine Europa Cup weekend, which was the penultimate round of the season at the home of the French Grand Prix at Les Castellets. We have also 2 female racers in that category. We have Lilou Wadoux, a 19-year-old French driver. She is really on a mission this year. She has consistently running in the front running positions, many podiums. One fastest lap last year, but this year she's really close to her first victory. She came close in Spa-Francorchamps, but now it was really again time to try to clinch that first victory on her home soil. She was faster straight from qualifying, from free practice. Sorry. Then she had quite a lot of problems in qualifying. We have to say that the practice sessions were run in the late evening, almost in night time on artificial lights, which was not really useful for the drivers because none of the other sessions were running in the same conditions. So when she went into qualifying, conditions were really different from what she had previously practiced. Still, she was P6 and P5, which was not what she would have expected because she really wants to always be in the top 3. She's now currently second in the standings, so she was still in contention for the overall title. Had quite a difficult first race because, of course, it's not the easiest track to pass. But still, she managed to gain a couple of positions, and she finished 4th, just behind the podium. She was not the best result that she wanted. But the other female driver that we had on track was, of course, Gosia Rdest, Polish racer. We also know her from W Series. She has been racing in 2019 in W Series. Last year, she did the Europa Cup in the Alpine One Make Series. Now she's back for a second year in the French manufacturers One Make Series. And also, she has been racing in W Series as a reserve driver in the Puma team for 3 races. She did the first 2 rounds in Austria, and then at Spa-Francorchamps, she was again back in the car when she stepped in at last minute for Irina Sidorkova that tested positive for COVID on Friday. So also we had a Gosia Rdest, and it was really a pleasure for me to catch up with us after the final rounds of the W Series in 2019. She's super fun, Really, really nice person to chat with. She is consistently between in the top 10, but between the P6 and P8 and P9, and those were again the positions where she ran in Le Castellet. That was her third time at Le Castellet in the Alpine car. In the first race, she started from P9 and finished P8. So it was still a good race for Gosia. But really, the second race was the best one for both of them because Lilou Wadoux started from P5 and had a great start. Really managed to climb to fourth and then to P3 in the first lap. And then it was really a battle for the victory for the first three cars. So until the finish line, they crossed line in a span of a couple of tenths. So really closely battled race. Lilou finished in second place. So again, not quite her first victory that she's really slipping away from her in those couple of last rounds, but still earned great points for the championship. Still second in the championship. I spoke with her after the race. I said, I asked her about her first victory. That she's almost there, but not quite. And she said, "You know what? I hope that obviously the first victory will come soon, but I do prefer scoring big points in every race rather than scoring a victory and then a DNF in the other race." So I think that really shows how smart this racer is. Only 19-year-old, but still battling for the title with one round left in the Magny Cours. Gosia Rdest again was P8 in the second race in Q2, and again also finished in eighth place. So it was quite a lonely race for Gosia in the second one. But again, also good points for Gosia. She said that basically she was doing her theoretical best lap, so she really had the most out of that car. Which was still a good second race for her, a good season. I think she's now seventh in the standings. Good season for Gosia, and hopefully we'll see more from her in W Series next year.
Very excited to see the potential in the W Series, and very exciting to see how Wadoux is really getting so close to that first victory. Just, I believe, a matter of time. And of course, as we mentioned, close racing there. Well, of course, when it came to the NASCAR Truck Series, they were in Talladega, home of close finishes. Three first-time winners this weekend. That has never happened in one single weekend of NASCAR racing. However, for Jennifer Jo Cobb, Hailie Deegan, not exactly the greatest weekend to remember. Jo Cobb, she started 33rd place, of course, smaller team, doesn't have the funding or the equipment compared to some of the bigger teams, was riding towards the back. Of course, if you're riding towards the back, one of the big things is your strategy is to try to avoid the big one. You ride in the back, you can slow down in time and get there. Jennifer Jo Cobb, she did get caught up in the big one that occurred on lap 54. This big crash, exit in turn three, is just one of those deals where it was just a big challenge trying to maneuver your way around. And Jennifer Jo Cobb, her day ended finishing 31st place. Hailie Deegan, she was able to get around this wreck, the first one at least. However, that second wreck, that claimed her. She started her race in 26th place. Of course, the last few race weekends have not been kind to her, including at DNF at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I've really got caught up in a couple crashes. The second big one, she got caught up in that. Truck tore her up, ended her day 24th place. Hailie did post it on her YouTube channel, a video titled "Over $1 million in Repairs." A lot of damage to so many trucks in the truck series. And of course, the truck series, they have the rest of the month off. So thankfully, time to rebuild. Over 16 trucks ended up out of the race due to crash damage. We even saw the two racing for the win get in the crash and get in the wall as they crossed the finish line. Just a wild race at Talladega. As I mentioned, the truck series, they are off till October 30th. But unfortunately, they go to Martinsville. Martinsville, you know you're going to be beating and banging there, but you're not going to be having the hard hits with the wall or with another truck like you do at Talladega Superspeedway. for Jennifer Jo Cobb, Hailie Deegan. Just two more rounds left. Martinsville and then Phoenix, the championship race and the truck series season will come to an end. Now, one series that's still going, GTWC. Daniel, we had some really good action there this weekend.
Yes, GT World Challenge in America, which is the SRO series in where Taylor Hagler and our friend Erin Vogel is racing. Both are making their GT3 debut this year in the SRO GT World Challenge America, which I would say that's really a championship that has a great calendar. A lot of the most iconic North American racetracks. Last weekend they were racing at Sebring, so again one of the most popular and spectacular racetracks in the American continent. And I would say that this series really provided some great action from both of Hagler and Vogel this year. They despite their really at their first season in GT3 machinery, they had an amazing season so far. Erin has scored the first victory at Virginia International Raceway. She was, of course, the first female driver to ever score a victory in the SRO in GT3, so she quite made history there. And then Taylor Hagler went on to win other three races. The latest one this past weekend in Sebring. So she's really having a great season in the Racers Edge Motorsport Acura NSX GT3. Together with Dakota Dickerson, her co-driver has been changing from race to race. She has been sharing the car both with Dakota Dickerson and with Jacob Abel. In all of them are HPD graduates, so really young drivers and in the spotlight for the Honda Young Driver program, which is great to see. Also Taylor being included in that program. And again, she won the race in the second one. She was second in the first one, and then won the second race. But that was a really a legendary victory because on the first lap, Dakota Dickerson was spun around, and that race was really a uphill fight for them. But still, he navigated through the field and brought the car into second place to Taylor at the mid-race mark. They had quite a lucky safety car just after the driver change, so they bunched up again with the class leader. And Taylor at the green flag was amazing to just sneak ahead of the Porsche, of the right Porsche of Frank Poudet, and claimed the lead. And then from then she just pulled away and won the race in spectacular fashion. And Erin was just behind. Erin really did an amazing job in both in the first race and then also in the second race, because in the first one they were in P4 and P5 around those positions. Also, Michael Cooper had who is of course her co-driver at the DXDT, Mercedes, and they were around P5 in the first race when with only 3 laps to go, they had a suspension failure, so that was quite kind of unfortunate for them. But they really made up for it in the second race, where they were in second position, and Erin really did a great job, because of course she followed Taylor in the final stint. Also passed Poudet, who was in the class lead after changing from again Allen, of course very experienced driver. But they managed to get ahead of the Porsche and finished 1-2. So that was quite a historical moment for the SRO GT World Challenge America series, because it was the first, as far as I know, 1-2 for female drivers.
Very historic, very exciting, because it shows the talent that they have behind the wheel and what they can do. And speaking about historic, one of the big things we saw, NASCAR outside the track this just past yesterday. NASCAR Drive for Diversity Gala. Of course, NASCAR, their Drive for Diversity program, pretty much full swing, recognizing some of the achievements on and off the track. This included track personnel, internships within NASCAR, and of course, bubble walls, coming off that win in Talladega, he got the national attention, and we want to give a congratulations to him and everybody, including Roger Caruth, who was on our show Life on the Grid. He was recognized as one of the development drivers, and Tony Bredinger. She became the first Arab American woman to compete in a NASCAR sanctioned event when she took the green flag at the ARCA Menard Series race at Daytona. Her history-making journey in NASCAR was covered by national television programs, including Today, Good Morning America, The Ellen DeGeneres Show. On track schedule, she has quite a lot of racing to go, including some late models and NASCAR Camp World Truck Series earlier this year. And she is definitely somebody to be a force to reckon with. We encourage everyone to follow all the drivers we talked about. You can see their social media handle right there on the screen. And of course, another driver, upcoming driver, we want a big congratulations to for the Young Racer Award, Regina Servin. In 2021, Regina graduated to full-time racing in the NASCAR Advanced Auto Power Weekly Series in her second season with NASCAR Drive for Diversity Development Program. Last year, the Mexican native driver became the first female driver to win a race in FB and BOHN McHale Trucks presented by Sherman Williams at the Autodrome in Mexico. She is a vocal ambassador for both women and Hispanics in racing and uses her platform to encourage young girls to pursue the dream and always, as she says, go for the cookie, in which case the win. So definitely a big congratulations to Regina and Tony on getting recognized, win their awards with NASCAR Drive for Diversity. And later this year, we might be saying a big congratulations to Samantha Tan and what she's doing in the 24-hour series.
Oh yeah, definitely. Samantha Tan had another great weekend at Budapest last time out. She's racing in the Creventic promoted 24-hour series. It's her first international season. We spoke with her when she was actually right here in Mugello earlier this year, when she was second here in GT4 class. She's having a great season. Just that she won the season opener at Dubai, the 24-hour of Dubai earlier this year. Went on to win also the 6-hour of Abu Dhabi just 1 week later, and then from there it's been one podium from the other. Was second here in Mugello, was second again, as I remember correctly, in Paul Ricard. Then they had an unfortunate DNF in Hockenheim. But then she was back on the podium, and now in Hungaroring they won again in class in GT4 category, and they clinched the title with one race to go. The next race is going to be at Sebring, and the 24-hour series is really a championship where you usually find a lot of talented female drivers on the grid. Samantha is of course not the only one. We also had Jasmin Preisig in the TCR category. She won also in class last time out in Budapest for the 12-hour Hungaroring. And it's been a great season for Samantha. As you said, it's very likely that we can see her on again clinching another title, because so far she already has won the title in GT4, but so far she's P1 also in the overall classifying, also including GT3 teams. So that's quite something. That's quite remarkable for the ST Racing. And with just one round to go, we will definitely have a close look to that series.
Definitely will be very excited to see how that series shapes up with just one race to go. Of course, we'll be following that story right here on the Grid Network, and of course, you'll be following on Racers the Girls Behind the Helm. Now, one story I know you were following this past weekend as well has to be DTN, and especially since we had Sophia Floersch and Esmee Hawkey. Can you tell us about that weekend? And they also have an upcoming weekend as well.
Yeah, last time out they were last weekend they were racing it in Hockenheim. Usually the Hockenheim round, it's the last round for DTM. It has been traditionally so, but not for this year because of the Norris Ring round, which is another really historic street circuit for Germany and in Europe overall. Usually it's in the middle of the summer. This year it has been postponed, so they decided to make it the final round, season finale for DTM, which I think it's nice. It's nice to have the Norris Ring back on the calendar. Last year it was cancelled, of course, for obvious reasons. and it's good to have it back. But last time it was Hockenheim, and Sophia Floersch and Esmee Hawkey, as you said, they're having quite a good season. Sophia is just starting to get into the rhythm with the Audi Abt sports line. I would say that she's really improving. We saw her scoring points for the first time in Assen. She was P9 in Assen, scoring quite some good points. She's still struggling a little bit in qualifying, but I think she's improving quite a lot. And also the Hockenheim round, where she was P12 in the first race on Saturday, really showed some good progress again for her. She really is going into the right direction. I think it's a good step forward for the whole Audi team and for Sophia in particular. And Esmee Hawkey, as you said, she's really doing quite good in qualifying. She's really strong in qualifying. She was again in P14 in Hockenheim in the first train on Saturday. While on Sunday, I think she was in P16. So definitely a good one as well. It's a very competitive series. Of course, it's one of the most competitive GT3 championships right now. After, of course, the switch from with the new format for DTM. I think they're having a good season. Of course, we have to understand that Sophia is her first season in GT3 cars. She comes, of course, from single seaters. She has been racing in Formula 3 last year, and also in the prototypes with the LMP2, both in the LMS and in WEC this year. So it's quite a lot different. We also saw Lucas Di Grassi making his debut in DTM last weekend, and he said that also was quite difficult for him to adjust from Formula E in his case, but from single seaters in general to the GT3 platform, because of course it's really different. You have the ABS system in under braking, which Sophia told us that is really probably the most single different thing that she had to learn this year. But I think she's doing quite a lot of progress, and she definitely proved that she belonged to such an elite lineup like this year's DTM. Well, same thing for Esmee. Really, she's doing great in qualifying, and again was really they are really in the midfield right now. So I think it's really encouraging, and hopefully they will have another season, another chance next year, because it's really exciting to see them doing well in such an important field with drivers, the likes of Kelvin van der Linde or Liam Lawson or Alex Albon, and drivers, really top drivers in around the world that racing in an important series like DTM. So seeing Sophia Floersch and Esmee Hawkey doing well, really in the midfield among those names, it's really great, I think.
Really great, and we encourage everyone to be sure to follow the website Behind the Helmet, racersbehindthehelmet.com. There you can see the full calendar of all the races coming up this weekend. As you can see, a lot of racing going on globally, and of course, the best way to follow everything is by going to racersbehindthehelmet.com, the calendar page. Great, useful site to follow it. I know, Daniel, you said you're at Mugello. What are some of the other big races you're going to be following as well?
Well, definitely GT World Challenge Europe at Barcelona, which is the season finale for that series. The Iron Dames will be back in that series after the May round in Paul Ricard, which was the first time that they lined up a car in GT World Challenge Europe, and it was also the first time that an all-female crew was racing in that championship. So they are back for Barcelona. The lineup this time is going to be Sarah Bovey, Dorian Pang, and Michel Gatting. So new lineup for them, with Dorian Pang stepping up in the main team, really. Also interesting to note and to mention is that this weekend is in honor of the late Maria de Villota, of course, the Spanish Formula One driver that lost her life in 2012 on the 11th of October. So this weekend, some years ago. So this weekend in GT World Challenge Europe in Barcelona is dedicated to the memory of Maria de Villota. So definitely that's one of the races that we will be following. We also have a person on track, one of our colleagues on track in Barcelona this weekend. Also is Formula Regional in Japan, which last time out there was a female victory with Ai Miura. STCC final round of the season for the Scandinavian Touring Car Championship. Last weekend there was also another female victory with Mikaela Olin Kotulinski. Then final round also for the BMW M2 Cup at Norris Ring. Then it's going to be the final round of the season as well for the NLS Nürburgring-based series, formerly known as VLN. DTM, we already spoke about this also in Norris Ring. Formula 4 Italy here at Mugello, did Formula Regional. DTM Trophy as well. So quite Euro NASCAR in Zolder in Belgium. IMSA racing in Virginia International Raceway, then Arkham Menard Series West. Quite a lot of series actually going on. BTCC in Donington. WTCR, the World Touring Cup for TCR cars, and Most in Czech Republic, and the Audi R8 LMS Cup, and Michelin Pilot Challenge. I just mentioned Michelin Pilot Challenge as well, also at Virginia International Raceway, because Taylor Hagler, we just talked about her winning in GT World Challenge America. She's also racing in the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge, and she is also leading the standings in the TCR class. So that's also another race that we'll be following closely.
Definitely following closely. I encourage everyone to be sure to follow us right here on YouTube, subscribe to the Grid Network, and on Twitter you can find Racers Behind the Helmet, as well as the Grid Network under Grid Ranking for all the latest news covering all the women in motorsports. And I want to thank everyone for tuning into today's program. Big thank you for Daniel for joining us from the Mugello circuit. We're very excited to have you there, and we encourage everyone to subscribe, follow both our organizations for all the latest news. For Daniel Jerry at Mugello, I'm Joe Sandiego right here in Portland. Thank you for watching today. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.
Don't be an anonymous investor. Join the stock market social media platform public.com. Invest any amount of money and share with friends and new friends. Discover new opportunities, such as new companies and potential business partners, and useful tools for beginners, and share your experience with friends on public.com. Link in the video description gets you $5 for being a Grid Network viewer. Use the referral code GridNet for your free $5 to invest and start investing and networking on public.com.